All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us to see Zero Bounce in action. Now, I know a lot of you have been around the platform for some time now, but Zero Bounce can do so many things to help you with your email marketing. We're bringing you this webinar so you don't miss out on any of our features. Now, we're just going to wait a few moments. Let's make sure everyone is here that needs to be here. In the meantime, I'm just curious, where are you all joining us from? If you could write in the chats, I'd like to know. I see Colorado, California, Kentucky. I guess I should have introduced myself first. I'm Paul Leslie with ZeroBounce. South Florida, Rhode Island. Just as a reminder, we will be sharing a recording of this presentation, and it'll also be on YouTube at some point for you to reference whenever you like. Just wanted to say a few words about ZeroBounce. In a nutshell, ZeroBounce helps you make more sales with your emails. We do that through a variety of tools that work together to help you get your emails in the inbox. Thought I would give a few interesting facts there about ZeroBounce. ZeroBounce has validated more than 24 billion emails. That's 3 times the population of Earth. And I'm also pleased to present Austin Helm, the business development executive at ZeroBounce. As a business development executive at ZeroBounce, Austin helps businesses like yours reach the inbox and boost email ROI. He's been with ZeroBounce for a long time now and knows this platform inside and out and is here to help you make the most of it. So it's my pleasure to introduce Austin Helm.
Hey, everyone. So I'm guessing, Paul, we can hear we're all good here. It's good to meet you. My name is Austin Helm, and I'm going to be the one taking you through the presentation today. Happy to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of what we're going to do here and how this is going to go. So essentially, we're going to start off by talking a little bit about why you need email validation. And then I'm going to take you through a very quick demo of the platform because I want you to be certain that this is a very simple thing. This is not complicated, not hard. You can do this very quickly, and it's not difficult to use. And then after the fast demo, I'm going to go into a little bit more technical detail about how things work. And then after that, I'm going to do a Q&A session where I'll field your questions. So let me get this on the stage here. Okay, so let's start by speaking a little bit about why you need email validation. Why do we exist? Why do I have a job? So as all of you know, you're probably here because you are either collecting emails, you're sending emails, you're doing something with email data. And obviously all the time when people are signing up for forms or, if some of you are purchasing data, whatever the case may be, your data at some point, you're going to come into contact with data that's invalid, with emails that are invalid. And the best way to get results when email marketing, the best way to drive ROI is simply to be able to communicate with the people that you need to be able to communicate with. So what our platform allows you to do is it allows you to validate the emails that you're sending to and make sure that the emails that you're sending to are real. Very simple, very easy. And email is a thing that the results of your sends are going to snowball in either a positive direction or it's going to snowball in a negative direction. It's a problem that either compounds on itself or you get results that are going to compound on themselves in the positive direction. So, if it starts in the bad direction, it's going to keep going. If it starts in a good direction, you can build off that. You're going to end up having great results. So what do we do here? How do we get this done? So the process is very simple. You can do this individually, like you see here. Where's my mouse at? Like you see here. You can validate individual emails. So take my email, for example. We can do an individual validation. You'll get the results here. You can get a more in-depth breakdown of the results where you'll see the sub-statuses of the results and some of the other metadata that's associated with the email that you're validating. But you can see you can do things individually, or you can do everything in bulk if you would like to validate an entire list. So the process is very simple. It's as simple as dragging and dropping your list, selecting it from the computer. That begins the email validation process. And then just to give you an idea of the speed, it takes us about a half hour to an hour to validate 100,000 emails. So some of the stuff we can do very quickly. If you have 10,000, 5 to 10,000 emails, we're able to handle that very, very quickly. So here you can see a breakdown of the results. We have a couple status categories ranging from valid to invalid, catch-all, spam trap, abuse, do not mail, and unknown. And then once you're ready, you can download the results right here. You'll get a zip file with all of the results segmented into their respective categories. And that's it. That's the fast demo of the process. You just upload the list, we validate it, and then you download the results, and then you can take that list and do what you need to. So it's a very simple, straightforward process, very user-friendly. In addition, if you go up here, we have a team account setting where you can invite team members. If some of you guys have companies and other people that are going to be using the account that you have, you can invite other people to then have access to the pool of credits that you'll need in order to validate the emails. So, which brings me to my next point here, the credits and what you'll need to actually validate the emails. Before you upload the list, you'll have to get an idea of the volume of emails that you have. So if you have 10,000 emails, you'll need to purchase 10,000 credits to get that list clean. Now, you might need a little bit of extra credits in order to do some of the other things that we have available, but I'll get into that in a second. Before I start getting into some of the other things you can do with validation, I want to talk to you about some of the other ways you can validate emails. We have a very large list of integrations that you can use. So big shout out to the HubSpot people that are in the crowd. We appreciate you guys joining. And we have a HubSpot integration. We have integrations with basically any of the major platforms out there. We're constantly adding more to the group as well. So you'd be hard pressed to find a platform that we don't integrate with, but you can also do validations after integrating with one of your CRM platforms. In addition, you can do everything via API. So we have a couple things here that our clients love. The first is the bulk email validation API, where it's essentially doing the same thing as uploading a list, just all via API. You're going to get the same results. It's going to take the same amount of time. It's just a matter of how you want to interact with the data or how you want to pass it over to us. If more technical people prefer the API, sometimes if you're dealing with marketing people or things like that, they would prefer to use the dashboard, more user-friendly, but everything's the same, cost is the same. Like I said, doesn't cost anything to integrate. But the other thing that's unique about the API that we include here is the real-time single email validator. And what this API will do is it will allow you to validate emails on the fly on your sign-up forms on your website. So as somebody is entering their data, they're putting in their first name, last name, email, whatever it may be that you're trying to collect from them. When they get to the email portion of the sign up form, once they leave the field, we'll run a validation that will validate whether or not that email that they're giving you is real. And then based on the result that we give you, you can decide what you want to do with that email address, whether or not you want to allow them to pass through and access the service, or you want to basically just tell them, okay, this is not real data. You're going to have to give us something real. Otherwise, we're not going to let you in. So this solves the problem at the gate rather than having to worry about validating the emails later on. But okay, let's go back to what else you can do with the results here. So when you go to download your results, what you can do is you can append all of these other little bits of data here that we can find. This data here is free to, but the second here. Sorry about that. Phone's ringing. So this data is free to include, but the other data that you see here, the activity data, this comes at a 1 credit upcharge. And what this data is basically giving you an idea of how active the emails that you have been. And you're only going to be charged based on the recipients, obviously, that we can find data for. So if you would like to include this, you can just switch this on. It'll charge you 32 extra credits because we were able to find it for 32 extra people in this list in particular. And then you can download the list and you'll have data that will tell you, okay, this email's been active in the last 30 days. This email's been active in the last 90 days. This way you'll know which contacts are going to be better than others, which are going to be more likely to engage, and which could potentially drive more revenue for you in the future, which in general are just going to be better contacts. So then you'll have that list and you can do what you need with that. Now, I'm going to go through the result categories here and what each of these means, just a quick little breakdown of everything so you know what we're actually telling you is happening with these emails. Valid emails are obviously emails that are valid. You can take these to the bank. We have a 99% accuracy guarantee on our results. So valid emails are going to be the ones that are obviously going to be the most valuable for you. Invalids are the exact opposite. We know these are bad. Don't touch these. They're not good emails. Catch-alls are the only gray area in email validation. I'm going to come back to catch-alls in a second. Spam trap are exactly what they sound like. They're emails that are designed to trap spammers. Abuse emails are people that are known to mark people as spam. Do not mails are emails that are potentially valid, but you don't want to be sending to them. So for example, your role-based emails like an info at, sales at, marketing at, some people do communicate through those emails, but we don't recommend necessarily sending to them, especially if you're doing something cold or anything like that. But if you know you've talked to people that are using those emails to communicate, then it's not too bad. And then unknowns are obviously emails that we could not put a finger on. You're not charged for those unknowns. So anything that we can't find, we have a very low unknown rate. I believe it's below 0.3%. It's something very, very low. We're the best in the industry here. So to go back to catch-alls. Now, what are catch-alls? Because why is this category here? This is a notorious problem in the email validation field. Now, there's no perfect solution for catch-all emails. And what a catch-all email is when someone is setting up their email domain, what they can do is designate it a catch-all domain. And what that means is that no matter what address you're sending to under that domain, that email is going to go through and make its way to an inbox that's been configured to receive those types of emails. So if you were to take my email address, for example, austin@zerobounce.net, let's say zerobounce.net is a catch-all domain. If I were to send to austin1@zerobounce.net, Austin1 is an invalid address, but because zerobounce.net is a catch-all domain, that email is going to make its way to an inbox that's been configured to receive those types of emails. So the reason this exists is because let's say you're an organization, you have an employee who's speaking to a client. That client is still reaching out to that employee, and let's say for some reason you were to terminate that employee. That client is still reaching out to that employee thinking they're the point of contact. Somebody, that correspondence between those two needs to be able to make its way to somebody that can actually do something about those emails. So with this type of configuration, it allows for that to occur. So that's why it exists. But what does this mean from an email validation perspective? This means that since everything is going through, it's impossible to tell what's actually valid or invalid. There's no, like I said, there's no perfect solution for these types of emails, but we do have something that can help. So if the email validation engine, the email validation engine is based on an SMTP handshake connection with the host server of the email address. It's like me going to somebody's house, knocking on their door, and giving you the results to tell you, okay, we know this person's home. We're confirming this person's home or they're not home. With the catch-alls, what you have to do in order to get a better idea is you have to score them. And this algorithm is based on the activity of the email. So it's like me basically standing across the street from somebody's house with binoculars and saying, okay, I've seen them mow the lawn one time. I've seen the lights on. We're looking at the send and receive activity of the email, the internet activity. We're fed real-time information on the activity from our publishing partners. We use all these things to factor in a score to come up with the score for the email. And based on everything, all of the tests that we're doing, everything that's happening, it's going to spit out a number at us based on what's going on. So if the email is very active, it scores a 9 out of 10. Odds are it's going to be a valid email. If it's passing some tests, missing on others, you might get in the 3 to 8 range. And then if it's not, we're not seeing anything, 0 to 2. So the idea is that it's not perfect. So it's entirely possible that you have a valid email that's not very active and therefore it doesn't perform very well in the algorithm. But it's like a little extra layer of cleaning can absolutely help to determine what's going to be valid of the catch-alls and which you're going to be safe to send to. So I'd recommend using this if you do have a lot of catch-alls. If you don't, you then might not need to worry about it as much, or you can just finger through it yourself and figure out which are going to actually be more valuable. This also is a extra credit to use this. So if I had 91 catch-all emails, I would need 91 extra credits in order to process this. So that's the email validation component of ZeroBounce. That's our core business and our core focus. I'll go, after I touch on some of the other tools that we provide, I'll talk a little bit more about where we kind of stand within the industry in terms of the service that we provide as an email validator. But that is by far our biggest service and the biggest service that we provide for anybody. So the other tools that we have, you may notice over here, we have the option we have an email finder where you can actually find emails. So I'll just go through these real quick because I'm sure most people are here for the email validation component. But here you can find the email of a person if you give us the name and the domain of the company they work for. And then we'll spit out a result here. So here you can see this is my brother. This is his email at his company. We can tell you that this is valid and then give you the formats of the other people's emails within the company. But basically what we're doing, how this works is we're performing actually 20 or so validations in one email find to determine, okay, this is actually going to be the valid email. So we're taking a lot of guesses as to what's going on. It's a learning product. It's getting better as it goes. It's becoming more and more popular. I would say this is quickly becoming our second most popular product that we have. So if you're interested in finding emails, we have the capability to do it here. The next thing we have, which is also extremely popular now that Google and Yahoo have changed the rules, is our DMARC monitor. Some of you are now including DMARC policies in your DNS. And so with the monitor, this is going to allow you to monitor what is going on with your domain to see if anybody's trying to spoof it or use it in a way that's malicious and can do damage towards your domain. So where you're setting up the policy that you have, it doesn't really do you much good if you don't know what's actually going on. So if something's happening, okay, great, but you got to know what's going on. And so with this monitor, it allows for that to occur. The blacklist monitor is very simple and straightforward. This allows you to test to see if you're on any blacklists. And then the email server test will basically test what the configuration of your server is like that you're actually sending from, to see if there's anything spammy about it. And then the inbox placement test is doing a test send to our test environment that we have set up. So we have a bunch of inboxes set up at the major providers. You'll actually send a real email to the test environment, and we're going to tell you what actually happened with that email, whether it landed in spam, whether it landed in the inbox. And then you'll have an idea before you actually go about the live send on what you need to change, and whether there's anything about the email that you're sending that's going to affect the performance of the actual live send. So you have the ability here as well. And these packages, these tools, if you would like to know more about these tools, I know I just touched on them because we're mainly focused on the email validation component here. But if you'd like to know more about them, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to take you through a more in-depth demo if you're more interested in the tools. But these tools, everything is available as a package. We have a couple packages here where you can get a certain amount per month. And then you also have the ability to build your own package as well, where you can type in essentially how many you believe specifically you'll need of these certain specific tools. Because let's say you don't want a blacklist monitor, you only want an inbox test, and then you only want scoring credits in addition, then you can combine everything, make a nice little package for yourself, and do it that way. So that pretty much concludes the demonstration here. I will be happy to field any questions at this moment. Thank you guys for paying attention. I know I tried to be as quick as possible, but it truly is a very simple system. There's not a whole lot of magic going on here. In addition, I know what I want to speak about now. In addition, we have 24/7 customer support where you're speaking to an actual human being, and which is always nice to be speaking to human beings when you're trying to talk to support. And then in addition, you can reach out to me directly if you have any questions or need anything as well. So where does ZeroBounce stand within the competitive landscape here? Let me switch this back. So where do we stand within the competitive landscape? Obviously, there's a couple different companies out there that are providing email validation. So really what differentiates us and why we've been around for so long in this space is two things. One, we provide a very high quality validation. We own our own infrastructure that we perform the validations on. So we're not beholden to something like an Amazon Web Services or something like that. We've actually had a lot of companies from other email validators come to us recently looking for business because the unknown rates have skyrocketed recently in our industry. And so we don't have that level of unknown rates due to the fact that we own our own infrastructure. We're a 75 to 100 person company focused on validating emails, just one specific little tiny problem. We have 75 to 100 people working on that to make sure that we can provide that level of quality. So the quality is the number one thing. The second thing, we provide very high levels of data security. We're SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, GDPR compliant, Privacy Shield compliant. And from a compliance standpoint, you name it, we have it. And so we do business with typically, like a lot of the names you see on the screen here, large tech companies, government organizations, banks, things like that. Companies that need that high level of quality validation, also paired with high levels of data security. But the good news is we serve all the way through the spectrum, mom and pop, all the way through Fortune 100 companies. and we provide everybody with the same great service. So one thing I want to be sure to let you know as well, part of the security measure is when you do I forgot to mention this, but when you do validate the data, your results are only going to be available for 30 days, and then your data is completely removed from our servers, and we could not get it back if we tried. So you just got to be sure to download your results within 30 days. Otherwise, the data is going to disappear and you won't have it anymore. And then you have to rerun it, and that's never fun. But so that's here you can see our examples of some of the companies that use us. But like I said, we are happy to serve anybody within the spectrum. We have all different types of clients from all over the globe. We can validate emails from all over the globe, and we know that we can provide the same great service for you. So with that being said, why don't we get into the Q&A here? Paul, I believe, is going to come back onto the stage. How are we doing, Paul?
All right.
And
Great.
then we can take some of these questions.
All right. Great presentation, Austin. One question here, which Kevin asked, will there be a recording shared just for everybody out there? Absolutely. There will be a recording that you all can review at any time. And then the next question for Austin, Michael Lally, how easy is it to set up the real-time single email validation on my site?
Good question, Michael. The good news is that it's very easy. So I'm going to bring the website back up to the stage here, and I'll show you what's going on. So with anybody with technical know-how, if you have a developer working for you or anything like that, it usually takes less than an hour or so to get this done. So I'm going to bring up the documentation. And you can see we're very well documented. You can view the status codes, any questions that you have, everything's answered in the documentation. Also like I said, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to take care of you. You can see documentation on the integrations, and then you can see documentation on the real-time API. So it's very easy to integrate here. You can see we have pretty much everything you need for every different type, every different language, whatever you need, we have it here. The other thing too is we're not going to actually do the integration for you, but you do have tech support on hand that will be able to handle whatever questions you have in terms of of the integration. If you have any technical questions, anything like that, they're happy to hold your hand and support you through that process. But typically it takes only under an hour for anybody that knows what they're doing. It's just a matter of figuring out what you want to do in terms of a user experience, how you want to handle the results that we're going to serve you, and then figuring out what you're going to do with the data, where you're going to put the data. But in terms of the actual integration here, like free to integrate, you can get started right away. You don't even need to purchase credits or anything to do so. You can just dive right in and get going.
All right. Follow-up question. Are you going to show how to add ZeroBounce to a lead form?
So I'm guessing that kind of pertains to the question that you just asked, Michael. I'm not going to go through a technical demo here of like actually coding that into a lead form or anything like that. There are some examples though. Michael, shoot me an email. There are some examples I can send you that will help to give you a better idea of how to do it and what's going on and how people use it. But I'll be happy to speak with you separately if you have any specific questions on integrating yourself and what you can do. And then I can connect you with people. If you have any other technical questions, I can connect you with people within the company that will help you out with that. But we'll get you situated, no problem.
All right. Next question from Michelle. Other than the per credit pricing, what are the other pricing structures for the email validation component?
So we can process the data in two ways. So you have the ability to do a bulk purchase of credits where you'll purchase basically one giant block. The pricing's tiered. So as the credit volume that you need is higher, the price per email, the price per credit goes down. The other option is to do subscription pricing, where you're paying for a monthly block of credits. And so it's basically, it really depends on your business needs, what I would recommend. Typically, if you know it's going to be a long-term solution, what I recommend is that you do a bulk purchase, because it's going to end up being a lot cheaper over time than paying for something monthly. So, but it's really up to you. It's really up to you. We have the option to do both. The monthly subscription, you're not going to be paying as much per month or as much upfront, but over time it's going to add up to a lot more. But those are the two options that we have from the email validation component.
All right. Great question here from Lauren. Do you have resources to improve email deliverability?
Yes. So, okay. Oh, so we were here. Oh, I guess you guys didn't see. Okay. Sorry about that. So yes, we do. Obviously, validating emails, the key to good email deliverability simply is sending to valid emails. If you are maintaining the health of your list and making sure that the emails you're sending to are good, you're not going to have issues. I get one of two types of phone calls from clients. Number one, it's people calling, hey, I need to clean up my database. Things are starting to get old. We're just doing some maintenance. Run the list, get the clean emails, good to go. The other type of client I get is people calling me, oh my God, I can't send emails. My domains, they kicked me off my email service provider, booted me from the system. Everything's going to spam. People basically freaking out because they weren't aware of what they were doing, and now they have all kinds of problems they have to dig out of. It's rarely anything in between. And so email validation, if you're going to do one thing, that is the main thing to focus on. And then obviously you can supplement if you're having these issues with the other tools that I mentioned here. The DMARC monitor, I would absolutely recommend, especially with the new Google and Yahoo protocols that are there. But doing the test sends with the inbox placement test can really help you to get a better idea of what's going to happen before you actually send, so you can save yourself in the event that you're going to do something bad. Email server tests, a lot of you are probably using email service providers and things like that. So unless you're using your own server, you may or may not need this. Blacklist monitoring, again, this is a very helpful tool to identify whether or not you're going to be on any blacklist. But if I'm being transparent with you, you're probably going to know there's a problem before you're going to end up on any blacklist or need to monitor any blacklist. You're going to start to see things are not getting delivered. Things are going to spam. There will be signs before the blacklist monitor is needed, but sometimes people are doing such high volumes that they need this in addition to basically just ensure that while they're sending massive amounts of emails, then they're not ending up on anything crazy that's going to inhibit their ability to send in the future. And then, like I already explained, the DMARC monitor as well. So yes, we do have all these resources, these tools here to help your email deliverability. But like I said, if you're going to do one thing, validate your emails. Just make sure they're clean, make sure they're good, and then you're not going to have issues. It's the root of all email sending problems.
Okay. Do we have any more questions from anybody out there?
Paul, I believe I see a question from Michelle Redmond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So feel free to reach out to me. Actually, I'll put my contact back up here on the stage. Oh, by the way, for joining, you're all going to get 1,000 free credits. Just reach out to me at austin@zerobounce.net for the free trial. You can use the credits for any of the services listed below. And then in addition, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. You reach out to me there, but you'll be able to get a free test for joining. And then from a cost standpoint, you want to get a good idea of what your volume is going to be, how many emails you're going to need to send to, and then you can let me know and I'll price it out for you specifically. But we do have direct pricing. We have retail pricing on the website. If you're looking for a deal though, you got to come to me. So let me know what you need, and I'll be happy to take care of you.
All right. Anything else? Anything you wish you had been asked, Austin?
Anything I wish I had been asked. Oh wait, looks like one more question here from Michelle.
All
How does your
right.
validation compare to something like Seamless AI? So Seamless is doing something a little different. They're providing data. You know, we're not providing anybody with data. We're just validating data to make sure that it's real. And this is our core focus. This is what we do as a business. If they, I'm not even aware if they're doing validation over there or what's going on. I know that you know, they do a lot of things with selling of data or finding data that might be similar to our email finder more per se, but in terms of validation, it's not even going to compare the quality in terms of what we can provide versus what they provide. So if you're looking for data, they might be a good option, but validation, definitely you'd want to be doing it with us. So yeah, that's, and you can see Brian, thanks for chiming in there, Brian. Brian will tell you a little bit more about what Seamless does. In terms of what I wish I was asked, let's see here. These were all good questions. What I wish I was asked.
Well, there is a question from Michael Lally. In the meantime, he wants to know, do you provide phone number validation?
So no, we do not provide phone number validation. All we're focused on is emails at the moment. So just to be pretty direct there. Yeah, we don't do phones. A couple other people have asked that before, but we're not focused on phone numbers at the moment, just emails. But I can't think of anything else that I wish I was asked. These were good questions. What's another typical question I get? Usually a lot of questions about catch-alls. I think I went through that. But obviously, any other questions that people have? Oh, okay. Thank you, Karina. This is a great question. This is very true. This is a question that we get a lot. How often should you validate your list? How often do you need to be cleaning your emails? The average lifespan of an email is anywhere between 3 and 6 months. If you're dealing with B2B emails, corporate domains, things like that, the lifespan is going to be much shorter than if you're dealing with B2C emails, Gmails, personal emails, things of that nature. So based on those numbers, typically what I'll recommend to clients is anywhere between 2 and 3 times a year. You need to get your list clean. It all depends on what the makeup of your list is and also how paranoid you are. So it's such a simple thing. There's a reason why we exist to solve this simple problem, because it can end up being a nightmare for people if you're just not keeping up with the maintenance of your list. So just make sure you're getting them cleaned. Make sure that everything is getting delivered and you're not going to have any issues. And then you don't have to worry about anything. Karina also asked, if I validate my list in bulk, do I also need the real-time API? Good question. So one thing our clients like to do, if they have a database that is already full of emails, they'll clean that in bulk. But let's say they have a sign-up form or something on their website where there's more incoming data every single month. They like to use the real-time validation engine in tandem with the bulk validation to validate everything that's incoming so that they don't have to do bulk validation later on. So eventually you're going to need to clean the emails that you have in bulk again, but you won't have to do it for a while if you're using the real-time validation engine on your forms as well, because everything's being cleaned in the meantime as it's coming in. That's the major benefit of the real-time engine, is that you don't have to worry about it for a bit. You know, when you go to access that data, it's going to be good. So yes, you absolutely can use the bulk validation engine in tandem with the real-time API. A lot of our clients love that. We can organize a deal. It's 1 credit to use the real-time validation engine, or it's 1 credit to validate in bulk as well. The credits work interchangeably. Every time you ask us for validation, it's 1 credit regardless of how you use it.
All right. Are there any other questions in the chat? Let's see.
Okay, well, if that's it, thank you everybody who tuned in. This is my first webinar, so I'm excited to do more in the future. I appreciate you sticking with me and having patience as I go through everything. Like I said, you can reach out to me at austin@zerobounce.net or connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to meet you guys. And also, if you want the free credits, let me know and I'll give those to you as well. Thank you to Paul for hosting here and helping out, and to the rest of the ZeroBounce team, Brian and everybody else who helped get this set up. We love what we do here. We're happy to help you guys out with whatever you need. So we hope to see you on the platform. We know we can provide you with the same great service that we provide everyone else. So thank you guys for joining.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Everyone out there, have a wonderful day. Reach out at any time.
Take care, guys.